Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. The right before Chinese New Year, Hobby King announced a new camera and TX combo, and you see that before you, the Quantum Elite. It looks like it's well packaged here. Let's just open it up and take a look. Got a little card that tells us a little bit about the device. Looks as though they sent what they said they were going to. It shows that we've got the button and then the lights on the rear. It's pretty basic. And then it's got a frequency band and channel chart on the back. So it gives us some additional specifications. I don't see anything here that's not available on the website. Because this is probably going to be used for a micro camera, we're probably most concerned about how does it look and what does it actually weigh. So here it is. Looks about like we expected. This is the little button on top. Seems to depress pretty easy. I don't have long fingernails, but I got a bit of a fingernail there. I can depress it. I don't believe we have a microphone, so no audio from this. And then this is where the LEDs will come up. It has a lens cap here. Looks like there's a bit of a dome to that lens. Might be some fisheye effect. It looks like feels like the lens has been affixed to where it's already been pre-focused. So, I'm not sure what to make about that. We'll know more when we get it into connect it up and get to take a look. The next thing that I was concerned about was the antenna and how it was mounted. I think that may take time to tell, but you know, it's mounted directly to this PCB, which normally you're going to be using this on pretty light quads, you know, something that's really small and 50 grams. So you won't be coming down with a lot of force. And I think the way they designed this with this flat side, instead of it actually being round, I think that will actually make it a bit stronger to impact, at least coming directly here. I don't know. You can still see it flexing a bit here in the corners when I push down in the middle, but normally when you wreck, you're coming down on one of the straight sides. Soldering job looks pretty good. It's kind of a long lead, but okay. Twisted, thank you. And they did go ahead and print in tiny, tiny little print there. Quantum Elite. Is that focusing in the camera there? Always worry about these things. Well, that's really is there all to see. Let's weigh it up, see if what's printed on their website comes in like they say it will. We'll weigh it without the lens. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt there. Oops. Alright, just for good sakes, let's make sure we don't have... If you can see that, I'm going to go ahead and wind this back around a little bit. 4.7. So a little bit heavier. Now let's see if we can easily get this case off. Because I'm wondering if that's where a portion of their weight calculations came from. They weighed it naked, not like they shipped it. Of course, when it comes to weight, you're going to see some small differences, I suppose, in manufacturing. I don't like having to pull on this PCB, but oh, geez Louise, I think I got it. It took some force. Captured it live. Now, okay. So if you wanted to, for your own reference, look at the numbers on the front. There are two cameras out that look very, very similar to this. I know one is sold by HeliPal, and I think Tower Hobby sells another one. The one from HeliPal retails for about 60 bucks. The one from Tower Hobbies, I think, was like 100. I saw it once, but I didn't keep track of that. And this one is only $39.30, but I think you can get it for less than that depending upon your membership. If you're a premium member, if you've ordered from Hobby King in the past a number of times, you can get this, a few dollars cheaper. I was just kind of looking around to see if I could see a microphone or anything. They didn't state on their site anywhere that it did have a microphone. I suppose, well, I don't necessarily see something that would stick out like a microphone, but let's go ahead and weigh it again. Now that it's naked, probably coming at the 4.5 grams they were showing on their website. Oh, all the way down to 4 or 4.1. Nice. I think for my purposes, I'm going to leave it that way because I don't have a use for this. And if you remember, on this little quad, I had this bottom plate that had the DIY set that cost about 30 bucks. So I thought that would be a pretty good comparison. You've got very similar costs between two units. Obviously, there's a lot of work involved in this one that is involved in this one, but let's just do it from a weight standpoint. So this is 10.1 grams, and this was right about 4 or 4.1. So almost double the weight. Now I know there's some hot glue on there, but we're going to have hot glue, and there's not nearly as much hot glue on there now as what was on when I mounted it. And I don't think this one's going to take all that much hot glue to mount. So that's something else we can shave off, 4 or 6 grams on our weight, which is always really important. Let me turn this off. Inside the box, it's a nice little shipping box. Looks like we got a lead here. So yeah, that would work out nice if you're running these same leads on your quad, your mini quad. Plug battery in here. Plug this in there. Let's get the main feature here in the center. This in there. And then we'd plug our battery in right there. Okay, so I've got it on a channel that seems to be working with my little handy DVR that I can put in the camera. So I'm on channel 2, or I'm on channel 1 still, but I'm on band 2, which is E. So pictures coming in nice and fine. Hopefully you can see that okay. We'll set this down. You can stare at my computer and keyboard here a little bit. And I'll need to hold this down with one hand while I, armed. And we're going to check to see if we get any. Oh! Sucked in the lead. So far that looked pretty good though. Or maybe if I do this the other way, I don't have to reach across. That'd be better. Alright, let's redo that test. We're looking here to see if we get any snow or static on motor spin up. We're about 50% right there. Well, I don't see any change. I think there must be an internal resistor or something in there to filter the... Let's try it a little bit more. Okay, I'm satisfied. What we saw on the camera, which looked a little bit like jello, was actually the downdraft blowing the camera around a little bit. So that's well impressive. Even came with an internal power filter or something. You don't need this Pololu. I can leave this all attached and use it on something else. So this particular Pololu, the SV7 or S7V8, it's a tunable power filter with that little screw. This alone is about $8-9. That's before shipping. So that takes your cost of having this camera down, because you don't have to add that back. I fully expected to have to add that. Better unplug this, make sure we don't get any overheat issues. So that's all very, very good. I am impressed. I'm excited to mount it up and to go fly it around and show you guys that footage.
Here we have both cameras and VTX's combo units. They're similarly priced. On the left we have the new Quantum Elite. On the right we have the Banggood combo VTX and camera. And we can see that if you look real close on the Quantum camera on the left, you'll see some shaking with those chairs. It's very minor, but you can see it if you get the screen large enough. Here we're just going to show the differences in how it handles light. We can also look at the color. That is a pretty true representation on the right of the actual color. Indoors, I think that the Banggood camera, oddly enough, handles color better than the Quantum camera. I'm just switching rooms here to give us some point of reference in flying, because when you're doing flight you can't really do a comparison unless you double mount the cameras, and I really wasn't interested in doing that. I thought that would introduce other interferences or differences that we can't necessarily equate. As we go through the rooms, we see the transitions. I do think the picture with the Quantum camera is slightly more fisheyed or larger. I'm not sure which. It's very difficult for me to tell if that's a fisheye effect or if that's just a wider field of view. But it's not dramatic, but it is noticeable. Here we're going to go out and we get to see a little bit of bright sunlight, and that was why I chose to do it on this day, was that it was very clear sky, so we could get that feel for how it would handle light in flight. If we take a look at that evergreen, we do see that the color is a little bit truer with the Quantum camera. The Banggood camera tends to wash it out a bit, and we get another point of reference with the orange children's toys down there. There is audio with the Banggood camera, and there is not audio with the Quantum camera. The Quantum camera audio file did have noise, I would say, but it didn't have any actual sound of my footsteps or closing or opening the door or anything like that. So we go downstairs now. We're going to take a look at how it handles the lack of light. As we get down here, we can kind of tell already that the Quantum camera is doing pretty well, especially when you get bright sunlight and darkness both in the lens at the same time. You can actually still make out quite a bit of detail with the Quantum camera on the left. And that wraps it up. We're going to take us into our little storage area and shop.
I think the thing that surprised me the most about the footage was how well this camera handled light, especially changes in light. Going from light to dark or dark to light, or having light in your face and also being able to see in the dark. I can see in a number of flying scenarios where that would be extraordinarily handy. I do think there's more, that they could do. Lowering the price that they've done on this device is pretty incredible, though. This device, I think, is the Hyperion camera that you'll find on a number of other sites. It looks almost identical, and even where the numbering is, like that is the same that you'll find on other sites. This is a little bit different because those are manufacturing dates. You'll find those all over the place, but the one pictured on the HeliPal site is very, very close to this. So this doesn't look to be a Hobby King exclusive, and I suspect we'll see the prices on this unit on other sites come down as well. But they could do different versions of it and maybe increase the price a little bit. They could include a different lens so that you have a different field of view. Maybe you want to fly with a 90-degree field of view, or even just 100 rather than 120, maybe even 85. Maybe they just make that an option, that you can select different lens sizes. I think that's asking too much, but I think one other lens size around 90 degrees would be great. Also, with the transmitter and being only 25 milliwatt, there might be some limitations to that. We'll find out when I do the range test, which is next, but it would be nice that if 25 milliwatt is a limiting factor to penetration or distance, that most people are flying these, that if they offered another one that maybe was an Elite 2 or an Elite II or something that had some of these other features in it, so that maybe you paid $10 more and you got a 200 milliwatt transmitter with two lenses, something along those lines. I do think this is a pretty good unit. I'm probably going to buy another one. I believe they're currently on back order. And in the next video, I will do a proper range test, or at least a proper range test as far as I do them. Okay, if you have any questions, leave those in the section down below. If there's something else you want me to do, again, leave it in the section down below. I will work on finding a good location to do a range test on this, and I will be posting that in the following video. Thanks for watching and subscribe.